working it and you're dealing with it here on the ground. Like
here on the ground.
Here on the ground.
We're here, folks. on the ground. Hello, everyone. This is Kay, my sister, who is an astrologer,
A student, really.
Yeah. So, I mean, describe yourself, Kay. Who are you?
Who am I? Well,
in this
Kay.
realm.
I am Erica's older sister. I am a student of the world. I'm Sagittarius rising. Studying astrology for, I guess, like 5 years now since I've been really involved, and I am going to be reading Erica's chart. We have some resources here.
Materials.
Maybe reading Erica's birth chart for you guys today. Maybe walking through some general aspects. Walking y'all through the planets, the houses.
Love it. Love it.
That's what we're gonna do.
That's what we're gonna do.
Because it's fun. Astrology is fun. It's your own personal fingerprint. It's like the story of your life.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
I guess I should begin.
Yeah, let's get started.
Okay.
Okay, so I can start with a little bit of what I already know. I'm a Taurus sun and Aries moon and rising.
Wow. That's
so
the big three.
The big three. I also know that I am a Cancer Venus, or my Venus is in Cancer.
Yes.
Yeah. So the general stereotypes of those ones are like with Taurus, it's like I love food and sleep, but I'm also super hardworking. With Aries, I'm just like on the go, kind of. Not on the go, but like
sure.
Busy, I guess.
Like doers.
Doers. Okay, yeah.
Aries are definitely doers.
And then with my Cancer and Venus, because Venus is like relationships, and I like crush on friends a lot, and that's very true. So
I'd even take it one step further just to interject, but the Venus is actually in your third house, which is the house of close friendships, neighbors, the people in your immediate vicinity. So it makes absolute perfect sense that someone with Venus in their third house would start to have crushes on people who are around them, because you feel intimacy and comfort with people in your immediate surroundings.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Crushing on friends is very third house Venus. So,
okay.
Do you have any like questions right off the bat?
I think that I want to kind of like go in order. I don't know what that really means.
What that order is?
But I feel like you know what an order is.
I totally do.
What's the order that we should go in?
I think we should go through the houses. And
okay, can you explain houses?
Totally.
Okay.
So, it's actually really helpful because your ascendant is Aries.
Okay.
Aries rising / ascendant. I think you should put up there like rising equals ascendant.
Okay.
Boop, boop, boop.
Get ready.
And so it actually makes this order thing the easiest of them all, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Mm-hmm. It is what kicks off the astrological year. It's the beginning of spring. It's the first sign. They're the babies of the zodiac.
Okay.
So the verb associated with Aries is am.
Wow. Okay.
It's like I am. I exist. Aries is like, here I am. I'm here now. I am the child. Okay. So if you think of the zodiac as different stages of development, which some people do, and I'm pretty into it right now, then we are moving through the signs moving through the houses. So
Ooh.
Aries being the first sign is usually representative of the first house. Aries and the first house go together perfectly. The first house
is
being the house of self.
Oh, and that's why it's Am.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It really just it's a whole big little,
together.
it's a wheel. That's why the chart is a wheel. I'm sure you're going to put it up there. We have one for reference down there. But the chart is a wheel and it moves through the zodiac signs, through the houses, very cohesively.
Okay.
So in your first house, which is Aries, because you're an Aries rising, you actually also have planets in there, which is cool. You have Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn.
Wow.
All the physical planets, when Erica was born, were all situated in her first house, in that area of Aries. Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn were all there. And that's very uncommon to have so many planets in your first house. That's a stellium, bitch. So...
A stellium.
A stellium!
Oh, stellium?
Stellium.
Okay.
Stellium.
What does that mean?
It means you have a lot of planets in a house or a lot of planets in a sign.
Okay.
Some people say that means you're super that sign. Some people think it means it's your exact opposite.
Oh,
Which
okay.
is wild. I usually think it means that you're very much that thing. It makes a lot more sense to me.
Okay.
Having Mercury in your first house means that you are able to talk about yourself with ease, or would like to bring about an ease in talking about yourself. I think someone with Mercury in their first house would have a YouTube series about themselves. That's pretty much the whole game. Jupiter in the first house was like the planet of expansion, of like making everything bigger. So it's like yourself, like... Hello, it's me. Jupiter's in my first house. I'm grand. I take up space.
Okay.
I deserve to. I'm Jupiter.
It's me.
But then, Saturn also needs you there in your first house. And Saturn is the exact opposite
of Jupiter. Okay.
Saturn is like, I'm reserved.
Don't talk to me.
I take my time. Saturn in your first house will account for like traditionalism, conservatism, in the loose sense of the term.
Yeah.
That's what's going down in your first house.
Cool.
Heavy house. Big house when it comes to you.
I'll lay it on my shoulders.
And so then we move to your second house.
Okay.
Now your second house
represents
values.
I don't even know my values, honestly. Like, I do. Like, I've done that values activity where you, like, have a list and you pick through them and stuff like that. So, like, I don't know. I always talk about, like, individual, community, financial stability, and, like, what's the other one?
What's my other value?
What's my other value? What else do I care about? No. But, like, I don't know. Like, those are my values. And I do, like, live by them. Like, I want to have... personal fulfillment. That's, like, the individual one, right? So, like, I want to make sure I'm okay. But I also want to make sure my community is good. And I want to also feel, like, stable financially. And so, like... I don't know, but I just feel like when we talk about values, I never feel like, oh, I know my values. You know, like I can make my decision based off my values.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're still young.
True.
And it also makes sense with your chart because your sun is in that second house of like values, security, stability, and your sun represents you. So when you say fulfillment of self is my value, that's right there in the chart. her sun, her ego. It's like who you are is what you value, and it's what you should value, and it's what you're meant to value over the course of your life.
Wow.
So
Wow. It's like I know myself or something. I don't know.
I mean, it's lovely because Taurus and the second house
Really come
are
together.
paired.
Oh, really?
They're directly paired because first house Aries.
Oh, yeah.
Second
It's like
house
I forget
Taurus.
every time.
It's okay. It's all a language. The thing about astrology is that it's a language. It's just something to use to describe situations, energies, seasons, people.
Like you and me.
Just like us. So that's our second house.
Okay. Cool.
Nothing else is going on in there. But it's you. So I mean that's a lot to go down.
Like me as in Taurus, you mean?
You as in your sun. And you as in Taurus.
Okay. Because my sun is
It's
Taurus.
in Taurus.
Yeah.
In your second house.
In my second house.
So
like...
So you would use that to say, I find my value in my values.
Okay. So like that doesn't really answer my question, but we can move on.
What is the
She's a student, y'all. She's
What is the question?
I mean, like, okay, so does it really say anything about my values besides
Them being central to who you are.
Yeah.
Not really, because no other planets are there. Now, what
Okay,
you can
okay.
find, though, is what's aspecting your sun. But we're not there yet.
Yeah,
So-
you know, that's gonna have to be
It's
read my chart
something
number
else.
2, part 2.
Because, I mean, so your sun does have a square to Uranus. But what does that mean to you? Not
I
that
don't
much.
know. Okay.
I mean, it's not a great aspect. But, okay, so third house. Third house. As we already established, Venus is in your third house.
Yes.
Because third house, house of neighbors, house of siblings, house of direct communication, ruled by Gemini, historically and in your chart. I will once again reiterate, Erica has a unique situation as an Aries rising where the traditional sign that rules each house genuinely rules each house for her.
So I'm not wait, oh, sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Clarifying question. Because I said my Venus is in Cancer.
Yeah.
So that's separate from the house is ruled by Gemini.
Yeah. But
And then Venus is also in that house.
it is.
Okay.
Because we're using the placidus system, a whole sign system, wherein the entire section of Gemini, regardless of where your third house actually starts, would just be responsible for the whole house. If you look at the chart.
Okay.
So this is where your third house starts in the system. It starts like in the middle of Gemini.
So
But what
it
you
goes in.
count is the cusp, where the cusp begins. So where the third house begins is what your rulership is. But yeah, you see it goes into
Cancer.
Cancer.
Okay.
So it's in your third house, but it's in Cancer. Which is
Okay.
confusing.
There's gonna
Stuff
be
is
nuance.
confusing. There is
Yeah.
nuance.
That's why astrology is so
I don't want it to be inaccessible.
yeah.
But there's whole sign, and then there's placidus. I use placidus just because it's what I was originally taught, but honestly, whole sign is a lot easier to comprehend, and it's a lot easier if you're trying to use astrology in a predictive sense.
Okay.
If you're trying to use it to decide what to do or to predict the future, then definitely use the whole sign system because it's simpler. But this is the case right now.
Cool.
Your Venus is in Cancer and still your third house under this
Okay.
system.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
So, like, Gemini and Cancer kind of influence my Venus? Or...
I wouldn't say Gemini influences your Venus. Third house influences your Venus.
Okay.
So I'm talking about how Gemini rules this house.
Mm-hmm.
But Gemini and the third house aren't necessarily, they're not just interchangeable.
Yeah.
It's just like Gemini energy. Mercury, because that's also energy in the third house. They all like have a little game going. They're all on the same team. But that doesn't mean that you can just say Mercury and Gemini are one and the same.
Yes.
Third house and Gemini are just the same thing. They're not the same thing.
Okay.
They just have the same spirit.
Cool.
So fourth house.
Fourth house.
Your fourth house. The house of home. The house of family. The house of the father. Your father falls into your fourth house. Structure. But like more so around like a family structure. All there. Yours is it's Cancer.
Okay.
Cancer is a very family sign. It's a homemaker of a sign. It's a domestic. It's a caretaker sign.
I love you.
Love you. Thank you. I love you too. Love you too, girl. You don't have much going on in your fourth house.
No.
I won't lie to you.
Okay.
But
That's fine.
As we know, your Venus is in Cancer, but there we are.
There we go.
So the fifth house. The fifth house is the Leo house. The house ruled by Leos. It's the house of fun. I'm not even joking. The house of creativity.
She's not joking.
I'm not joking.
Kay is not joking.
Fifth house is the house of parties. It's a house of celebration. It's the house of children and fertility and joy and fun and play and expression and sex in a fun way, not sex in an intense way. That's the eighth house. But it's about like
get ready.
Fun. But you don't have any planets in your fifth house.
Okay. So
no fun for... No, I'm joking though. Your North Node, which is actually pretty important. Your North Node's not a planet. It's a point. It's a point that is like, I want to say the midpoint between the sun and the moon at the time you were born.
Don't quote her.
We'll fact check that. We might have to put a little disclaimer at the bottom about what the North Node actually is. But I believe it's that, and I know what it stands for though. It's what you're moving towards in life. So you're born, and there's a South Node and there's a North Node going on right now. Right now, it actually happens to be North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius. So if anyone were born now, that would be the vibe. It's like what everyone's working towards.
Okay.
It's like a societal, North Node is like a societal mission to embody that energy, to move towards that energy. So if your North Node is in Leo, it means it's like, let's learn to have fun. Let's learn to loosen up. Let's learn to party. That's what we have to factor in fun.
Actually though, that's valid. Like, I feel like I don't know how to. No, I do. It's just, I don't know. I think it's like, I'm very like anxious at parties or something.
Yeah. It's where you don't feel at home.
I don't.
And that is the lesson we're learning over the course of our life, because South Node is what is like defined by the karmic lessons you learned in your past that you're bringing into this lifetime. So,
but didn't you say, like, we've talked about this before, obviously this isn't the first time we talked about this. She gasped.
I do.
Because you were saying how you think since there's so many planets in my rising, and since I'm an Aries rising, and then I have so many planets as an Aries, rising. You think this is like my first karmic journey or cosmic journey?
Oh, I mean, that is interesting. I would not necessarily say that every Aries rising is like the first iteration of one's soul.
No.
Definitely not necessarily, but it could mean you got to the end and you're the first one to start over. You know?
Okay.
Like, you're just getting going as like this, at this stage of your soul development.
Okay. Because I'm just wondering how that influences your idea of my South Node. Because if the South Node is kind of like all the lessons I've learned in my past lives. If I'm starting now, how I don't have any lessons to learn from.
I mean, what's kind of cool about it is that in your situation, your South Node is an Aquarius, which is like the alien sign. It's like totally the sign of like quirky, eccentric, awkward at parties, like kind of like otherworldly. I think Aquarians are really put on, like, they're called like the aliens of the zodiac. They're
really,
and it's a very collective sign.
Yeah.
It's a very much which is why it opposes Leo so well, because Leo is it's a very I sign. It's the first social sign of the zodiac. So, you know, Aries is I am, Taurus is like I value, Gemini is like I communicate, like I can speak. Cancer is like I know how to care, and then Leo is out here like I play with others. I'm here to have fun. Let's all like look at me. Spotlight time. But Aquarius is more like everybody else. Like, what even is the self? We are all the self. So it's like that karmic lesson of like decentering the I was before. Yeah. And now you're like coming into this with like a lot of I energy. A lot of development energy. Okay. Which makes sense to me. Yeah. But it is difficult. So much of this is metaphorical. So much of this is ineffable, something that can never be entirely known. So we're all just theorizing here.
I mean, that's life, am I right?
It's life. Welcome to life.
Welcome to the real life, the real world, okay? Okay.
So I think that's a great question to maybe pose to your viewers, if there's any astrologers, people who are interested in astrology out there. What are we thinking about Aries? Are Aries the first? I mean, Aries risings, once again, but are they like the first ones out of the scene?
Go ahead and put in the comments. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Okay, sixth house. Sixth house is associated with Virgo. It is the service-oriented sign, the task master, the daily routine, the jobs, but not like your career, but like the jobs you do before you get to your career. Okay. It's like the house of maintaining your health. It's doing all that nitty gritty, you know, taking care of yourself. It's that root chakra energy, honestly.
Root chakra.
It's that like.
Okay, it's like right here, right?
I think so, but back in the back, the sacrum. There's nothing going on in your sixth house, not gonna lie to you, but I think of all the houses to not have something in, this is the house I would not want to have something in necessarily. Not this shit, I'm a Virgo moon. I'm a Virgo Mercury. I respect Virgo energy so much, but it's not fun. It's not a fun energy. Yeah. That's just not what it is.
It's just not what it is.
But we can't have fun all the time.
We can't.
Virgos know how to have fun. It's not, but we all have every sign in our chart. We all hold every sign within us. So.
It's just different signs are highlighted.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're all here. They're all here because no matter what, even if you don't have any natal planets in the 6th house, that doesn't mean transit planets don't fall in your 6th house. On any given day, things could be in your 6th house, working it, and you're dealing with it here on the ground. Like
here on the ground.
Here on the ground.
We're here, folks. on the ground.
Like, okay, so I mean, actually, right now, I don't think there are any planets in Virgo. But usually there are. And the moon goes in Virgo every 28 days, every 27 to 28 days. So the moon's always activating that house. But no matter, 7th house time.
Which is Libra.
Libra.